Okay, in this brief training session, we're going to specifically review the page management and page editing activities that you will do inside of the content management system. I've already mentioned a few times that DNN is a browse to edit styled management system. So if you want to edit something on the home page, you browse to the home page. If you want to edit something on the testing page here in this example, you go to the testing page to then begin working on that page of content and the modules on that page. You do the same type of thing if you want to reach the settings for this particular page. Remember, in some of the other training sessions, we'll talk about the user permissions and roles and your control of who can see and who cannot see either the content specifically on a page or the whole page itself. And many of those controls are found inside of, at the page level, the page settings for that particular page. Also a note that older versions of DNN will refer to pages as tabs within the database. They're still referred to as tabs. So you might find myself or other people who've worked with DNN a long time referring to them as tabs or pages interchangeably. But here I want to talk to begin with the page settings, in other words, the specific information about the home page that we're taking a look at the moment. Underneath of the control panel, if I come to the edit page, I have several options here. Page settings is the one we're going to jump to first, but other ones such as page appearance and page permissions are shortcuts that get us directly to one particular section of the same thing we're going to see here for page settings. So I won't come back and go through those specifically, but just know that they are short, quick ways to get to the same content. If I choose page settings, we'll see a pop-up window open up that gives us a window with information and 2 or 3 tabs of other things to get to. The permissions and then the visuals and appearance of the page were those other quick links that you can get to. So it basically selects those tabs for you. There are plenty of items available here, but I want to focus on 3 or 4 very important ones, and then we're going to move to another location to see some of this same data as well. From this location under page settings, you are able to change the name of this page. So if instead of calling this home, you wanted to call it anything else, or if you have, of course, other pages as you create them, you name them anything you want to name them. Do know that there are no longer any restrictions to the names that you call a page. At one point in time, ampersands and slashes and other illegal characters that would cause problems with the URL weren't allowed when you named a page, but really now in this type of system and in this day and age, you can name them anything you want. You'll just know that in the URL itself, where it affects those, it will leave out or remove any problem characters from the URLs. So you have here the page name. That's going to be the main name of the page and also what shows up in the menu. The page title, the page description, the page keywords are all items that are going to be visible and important to Google and other search engines. It might be less important than it was back in the day for improving your SEO and your keywords and your ranking. However, these things are still valuable. For instance, the page title and the page description both are what show whenever someone searches for your page or your content, and in Google search results you see the list of options returned, list results returned. The title is what shows right next to this listing, and the description is your opportunity to write in what you want Google to show in search results listings. If you don't put anything in and it's blank, then Google will crawl the page and see the first several paragraphs, and it will pick what it figures is the best content to show. But if you want to show something specific, you want to have an outline of the best 2 or 3 sentences as a description of the content on this page, this is your opportunity to put that in place. Same thing with your keywords. If we take a look a little bit further down, one of the other things that shows up here is the parent page structure, which allows you to control what organization is present within the website and the main menu system, so that you can decide that this new page you're working on or page you're editing needs to be a sub-page underneath of home, or in this demo website, it needs to be a sub-page underneath of testing. Parent page allows you to control the structure and hierarchy of this parent and child relationship of where pages are stored. Finally, there's another checkbox here that says whether to include this and make it visible in the menu or not. There are many times where you have pages, a login page, an error 404 page, plenty of other pages where you don't want them to show up in the main menu. This is regardless of roles and whether someone is logged in or logged out or whether they have the roles to see this page or not. This literally means, do you want this menu item to appear in the menu or not? If so, then the page won't appear in the menu. We will come back to several of the other things, including permissions and advanced settings, such as the theme or style of this particular page, and we'll approach it from another direction, but just know that it's all present in this same page settings type of structure. So I'm going to hit cancel and just close this pop-up window, and I'll move on to the other best location to go into to get to page settings. So while you're working on a page and you may need to make a change to one specific item on this page, certainly using the control panel and coming to page settings is a great way to get to that information. But if you have to work on the whole website or do several changes, then I want to call attention to the admin menu and page management as another great place to come. Now, perhaps if you've been created as an editor user, you might not have the admin menu available. In that case, you need to browse to that page to make a change. But if you come to the admin menu, some of the things in the admin menu are either administrative tasks or they're items that make it easier to see at a global level everything that's inside of the page, inside of the website. So from here, we can see on the left an expand and collapse menu structure of the whole website. Whether they are in the main menu or not, you can see everything here. You have an expand all button, which lets you click to open. Notice that you even have all of the admin pages here. But this section allows you to do work. You're able to click and drag and move around. Notice that there's a line that tells you where, when you let go, this new item that you've been moving around will rearrange and land. So at the moment, if I want to bring the admin menu to the bottom of the list, I can move it down, and now it is above testing. I can grab testing and move it above admin, and admin becomes the last thing in the list. So you're able to move things around. That's both powerful, but sometimes dangerous. You can grab something by accident and move it around and realize that you let it go and it became the child of something else you didn't intend. Maybe tiny URL suddenly went under friends by accident. Okay, that's easy. You just take tiny URL and you put it back underneath of testing. Notice that in that case, to move things around and make them child versions, or locations of a page, I drug them until it highlighted the particular page name instead of showing the line in between those. It may take a little bit of playing around to get the hang of this section, but it is very useful, especially when you need to rearrange things. Of course, you can do it one page at a time, but here drag and drop is very useful. You are also able to right-click on these pages so that you can do specific actions. From here you can right-click and you can say hide from navigation. That is the exact same thing as clicking or unclicking the include in menu item from the page settings. Similarly, you can say that you want to make this completely hidden from navigation. You can make it not linkable. You can delete the page from here. Plenty of things you can do, including view page, which will take you directly to that particular page. I'll come back to a couple of other features of this in a moment. I want to point out that on the right-hand side, when you do choose a particular page from the left, the right-hand side will now show you all of those same things that we had in the page settings, or at least the most useful, most commonly used ones. So we have the page name and title. Notice that the description isn't here. It's underneath the SEO section. Permissions is here. We'll spend some time with this in just a moment. Notice that appearance is here. These are the themes that you choose for the style of the page. So there are items you can get to over here for page settings, but it's not the complete list. If you want to get to the complete list, just as though you were on the other page, you click More Settings, and then this is the familiar full pop-up that gives you all of the page settings, just like we had when we were on that specific page. So let's start off top to bottom talking about some specific important items from this on the page level. To begin with, we have our page name and our title. We have whether it is included in the menu. Let's talk about permissions. Permissions we will do in another training session in which we talk about the granular ability to have roles on a whole portal, on whole sections of a portal, on pages, on individual modules on the website. That granular ability to control from site to page to module on a page, all the way down to resources and include files of PDFs and zip files being available by roles. All of those allow you to have complete control over who sees, downloads, or interacts with content on your website. And we refer to that as roles and permissions. So just as a quick overview, you are able to come to this section and decide that this testing page is going to be visible to all users, but perhaps I don't want it to be in the menu. That way, it's there if I give someone the link, but not everyone can find it if I don't tell them that this page is visible or there, but it is going to be visible to them as an unlogged in, normal, unauthenticated user because it's visible view page to all users. Additionally, there is a modules section in here. Very useful if you need to edit the settings of several modules on a page at the same time, or if you want to clean out and delete 10 modules off of a page because you're starting from scratch and you want to clear it out again, you can certainly come here and click on the delete button to delete several items all at once. The appearance section is another important one in that you can control the themes and styles. We'll have that in a separate training session as well. But then finally, the link is another important section that is worth spending a minute or two on. From this location, you are able to control other things, other ways that this page can behave. At the moment, there is nothing special about this page, therefore it is going to be a page of content in the site. You're going to browse to it, you're going to put modules on it, it's going to be a standard, normal page within the DNN system. However, you can also have this page be a link to an external website, www.apple.com. Makes this page be a reference or a redirect over to apple.com. That way, within your menu system, you could have things that link to an external store website or to a partner or parent company website. You can have links that go external of your website but still have them in the menu system just like all the other things inside of your DNN site. You can also choose to have a page go to a different page in your website. We will often do this where we have private or hidden pages or maybe the same page referenced in multiple different locations. In that situation, we have two other links that might reference one main page. That way it's the same content that's always being shown, but these are references or redirects that get you to internal things instead of external things. You can also have this be a link or a menu item that gets you to a file that's on your website. Many times people would want to have a menu item that links to a PDF that they've uploaded. Perfectly fine. You can either upload the file here or through the file manager and then link to it and have that as a standard menu item, and it goes to a zip file, a PDF file, a document, any other kind of document. And remember too that beyond the file permissions, the permissions that you have here on the web page and the link will determine who can see this. So perhaps you have links that you want people to download, they're in your main menu, but only available to logged in users. Those are permissions you can set up. The last thing to point out is that there's a checkbox at the bottom for whether you open this menu item when it's clicked on, whether it opens in a brand new browser window or in a pop-up window. So checking that is an important thing. Sometimes people want to open up tools or certainly external websites in a new window so you don't lose the website that you are currently in. Once you make any changes in this right-hand side, as long as you hit Update Page, you will have saved the changes to this particular page settings. The last thing that I wanted to mention over here in the use of this page management section is the idea that you can add new pages to the website from here. And we'll pick that back up when we talk about moving pages around and adding them more in the next training session. But essentially being able to right-click on a parent page and choose Add Pages is, I do want to skip these changes. It did prompt me since I had made changes that I hadn't saved them, so I'm undoing those. But if I right-click and I choose Add Pages, it gives me a quick ability to create several child pages underneath of the item that I had just clicked on or selected. And we'll pick that back up when we're talking about adding more pages to the website, moving them around, and then working on those pages. But I do at least want to mention it in this session as well, because it is a powerful way for you to create multiple child menu items, including sub-menu items, all in one go, that will create multiple blank pages prepared for you to work in. So as a quick overview of page settings and working in page settings, and then coming here to page management and working in page settings, you should have a pretty good idea of some of the main items you need to do when editing pages.